My name is Jimmy Purdy, shop owner, master tech, transmission builder, and the host of the Gearbox podcast. Here I talk with new and seasoned shop owners, as well as industry professionals about day-to-day operations within their own shops and all the failures and successes that come along the way. From what grinds your gears to having to shift gears in the automotive industry, this is the Gearbox podcast.
They need to put a roof on this booth so you can't get all that. It's like funnels in. It's almost louder in here than outside.
It is.
It's like overwhelming.
I don't think so because I wear hearing aids. So when I came in here, it quietened down quite a bit for me because I cut out a lot of that background noise, and then it helped me out a whole lot.
Interesting. All right. Well, speaking of overwhelming, I think we're talking about training.
Oh, yeah.
Is that what we want to talk about?
I like training, yeah.
Because that's why we're here right now, right?
Exactly. This is trying to gain momentum to be one of the biggest training events we have in the United States.
Yeah.
It's pretty freaking awesome.
Right.
And then you take, the other thing I want to talk about was the trainers.
Yeah.
The cream of the crop is here.
Isn't that awesome? Apex 2024. I feel like every year since 2018, it's just gotten better and better. Right?
It has. I started coming here the first one after COVID, and it was a ghost town.
I remember that.
Yeah. There was nobody here.
Did you come before COVID? Did you know?
I did
Apex
not
pre-COVID?
come before COVID, but I heard all kind of stories about it before COVID. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was a learning experience for me from the first Joe's Garage. Wow.
Yeah. It's cool. You get to use all, and you were just talking about getting some new, equipment for your shop.
Yeah.
And you can see and watch them use the equipment. It's cool,
And use it. The equipment's set up so you can play.
Yeah.
You can see the value of the equipment. Yeah. You can learn. There's more training for you.
Well, and you and I are the same, right? Where the salesman can come in and talk to you till you're blue in the face about all the features and benefits, but no. I need to play with it.
Exactly. I need to see what's going on. And it's not me necessarily. I need my employees to play with it.
That's very true.
You can talk to me, you're blue in the face. I'm good with that.
Yeah.
Because I'll talk. I love to talk. But when it comes to buying, if my employees don't like it, you can't get past that.
Yeah.
You're stuck.
Yeah.
So we come all the way from Dallas-Fort Worth to look at the Hunter equipment here because they had all the tire changers set up to pick the one that we wanted to fit in our shop.
Yeah, and they got an outstanding booth over there, don't they?
I haven't seen the one here at Apex
No,
yet.
the one at SEMA.
But SEMA's huge.
Yes.
It's beautiful.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. I spent all day over there yesterday shaking hands, kissing babies, loving on everybody, telling them all about the Texas two-step. And that's why I'm over here today. Bill Haas and Cecil Bullard and, all my friends, Vic, Tarsic, I got to see them and say hi and tell them what I'm up to. That's why I'm here today.
That's awesome. Well, and you always learn something too, right?
I'm always learning stuff.
So you're not just here yelling from the top of a mountain. You're here to learn stuff as well.
Oh, yeah.
So even with your experience, right?
Yeah.
Experience, and I can see it all over your beard. And
I
up
got
in your
plenty
hair.
of gray there, don't I?
It's a lot of experience you're oozing, and you still come to these events and still learn something new.
I do.
Yeah.
And I meet new people. And then sometimes, like Jeff Compton, the only time I have to connect to him is at an event like this. I can't get him to come to Texas and go fishing. But I can connect to him here.
Yeah, I mean, there's that whole international thing, right?
Yeah. It's something about his visa or something. I'm not for sure.
I don't know what he's talking about, man. Just get on the damn train.
Yeah, unemployed people should be able to travel all the time.
Yeah. So with training, you got this thing coming up, the TTST.
That's a Texas two-step training event.
There it is.
Yeah.
So the acronyms really throw a lot of people off.
It will.
Especially us in the auto industry, because we're just like,
yeah,
man,
we needed them just for this.
The phonetics is just too much, right?
Exactly.
Like, can you spell it out for me, make it easy? But that's what training does, right? It takes something that's unfamiliar, makes it familiar. So when you're talking about, diesel, you got... Who do you got in these courses? Because I know you got Mike Cleary, which is like...
we both know Mike Cleary quite well.
6'7", the garage god is what we call it, right?
Garage god. That's
and if you ever travel anywhere, make sure you tag him, right?
Yes, exactly. Especially Instagram is garage god, and he loves that, by the way. And I want to thank Dunkin' Donuts for helping us out with that, we got Oscar Gomez out of California, too. He's just right down the highway from y'all.
Yeah, that's true.
And he's doing all the gas stuff. He's a whiz at the Pico scope and things like that. Then we also have things for the garage owner, shop owner. 180 Biz, Rick White. He's going to be teaching some classes in each one of the cities we go to. And then we have Dan Vance with Shop Dog Marketing. He's here. I'm going to go see him.
Yeah, I think I'm going to have him on the show here later.
Oh, I hope so. That would be great.
Yeah.
And he's talking about marketing and your Google listing. And, Dan is the top Google guy in the United States. And to have him come do training for us, this is freaking awesome.
It's wild, yeah. So you'll have them all under one roof.
Yes, everybody's going to be under one roof. We're in 5 cities on the east side of Texas this year. We start in Houston, we go to Beaumont, Lufkin, Tyler, and we wrap it all up in the Dallas-Fort Worth. We're teaching the same classes at each city, so if you're close to one of the cities, you can make it in. If you're wanting to fly in Houston or fly into Dallas-Fort Worth, you're not going to miss one of the classes. They're going to be the same classes. And you don't have to come for one day because the training classes in the Dallas-Fort Worth and Houston are on Saturday. So fly in Friday night. Let me know you're coming. I'll come pick you up at the airport, get you in the hotel, do the class, and then I'll take you back to the airport Saturday night. You're only missing home one day, one night.
Man, just short of feeding them, that's about all they're going to need, huh?
We don't serve lunch in these classes for the simple reason so many people want different food, different allergies, all this stuff. So we give an hour break so you can go to the hotel restaurant or you can go down the street.
Well, I'm sure you got some great recommendations.
Oh, yeah.
You sound like a good old Texas boy, so I'm sure you can find some good barbecue for these folks.
I'm a little heavy because I like to eat. And I know good food.
So you got recommendations. That's all we need, set up some training. And Mike Cleary is, he's about, 4 minutes away from our shop in California. He's just right around. And what's really sad? We tried, I think, about 4 different attempts to put a class together.
Oh. And
it's just falling apart every time.
So
for either lack of participation or I guess lack of marketing. I mean, it's just, and I think the main thing we found is just the lack of interest.
How far is San Diego from you?
About 5 hours.
Okay.
4 if you can.
Because Oscar and Mike both have been kicking around doing something in San Diego. They want me to do there.
Yeah.
In May, we're going to North Carolina. We're going to be at Frog Pond.
Okay.
Where Benji is.
Wow.
You know Benji Burrs?
Vaguely.
Okay.
Yeah, not firsthand.
Well, he's a famous guy. He's always on somebody, talking to somebody. He's out there. He's on the board to pick the classes for ASTA Expo.
Okay.
And he picks the trainers and the teachers and stuff like that.
I feel like the East Coast is just much bigger when it comes to training, right? Everything for us on the West Coast is we do a lot of flying into the East Coast, and it is exhausting, right? So it's just unfortunate to have nothing in California on the West Coast. And I don't think it's for lack of having the trainers. It's just lack of
participation.
Yeah, just the interest. Is that something you find when you put these events together, or you get a good turnout in Texas?
And that's why we're doing 5 cities in Texas. Okay, so we can get all the training spread out. It seems like when we hold one training event, it doesn't have the traction. Like if we have it in Houston, we just have it in Dallas. You don't have the people from the outskirts coming into the city. You have the travelers coming from out of state.
Sure.
But, if you're holding a training class in Houston, nobody from Louisiana is going to come. But if you have it 40 miles, 30 miles to the east of Houston and Beaumont, you can have everybody you want to out of Louisiana, Lake Charles and all that. Yeah, that's crazy.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Dallas-Fort Worth market, I can have everybody I want to out of the Dallas-Fort Worth market. If you say Dallas-Fort Worth. But if you say training's in Dallas, 36 miles away, nobody from Fort Worth's coming. Or if you say Fort Worth, 36 miles over Dallas, they're not coming.
That is so interesting.
It is crazy,
Huh. I wonder if that's one of our big roadblocks that we have, right?
We're going to...
Because training's important, and I think a lot of people find training extremely valuable. But like that little nuance that you just brought up is a huge deal, right?
Yes, it is.
I mean, in Texas is one thing because it's very
right.
College football, they like to draw those lines.
You can just say football.
Yeah, you like to draw those lines, right?
They do.
We don't really have too much of that, but I can see, moving to different cities, how it would change. Do you see more people flying into your events than actually local participation, just because of the big names that we're having here?
For this event, yes. What's crazy is 2 years ago, the local schools didn't know this was going on. They didn't know what was going on until last year.
Wow.
And they took it to the local schools and invited local schools to show up to this event. So local traction here is bad.
That's interesting.
Until last year, they started advertising and pushing it real heavy in this local area, this local market. But everybody flew in or drove in. I've always drove my RV in from Texas to this event. And it's the same way with ASTA.
Yeah.
You know, the local people around there might be a half a dozen of them. But if you go to counting the heads, they're all flying in. They're all coming in from over the mountain. They're out of state. A bunch of that is.
It's interesting.
Look at Vision.
Yeah.
The Vision's traction in the city is not as strong.
Well, it's in the middle of nowhere too, right?
Well, it's on the south side of nowhere. You're right. You know, Kansas City, they have a football team.
Yeah, nobody wants to be in Kansas City, man.
But it's in such a nice neighborhood. You know, it's on the border of the medical district, on the border of all the financials, and a lot of banks are around that area. So it's a well-known area.
Well, it's just a cost-effective venue.
Yes,
it
is.
You got to find somewhere that's going to be cost-effective.
Yeah.
And I think in California, nothing is cost-effective. So it's really hard to hold a training center or a training facility because there's just nowhere to rent that's going to be less than $1,000 or for the day, right? Like, so that makes it really tough too.
It really is. Until you find some sponsors to help you defer those costs, it's hard to back that stuff.
Yeah.
You know, and we were very blessed. Last year we had several sponsors step up and help us out. Well, I said last year, the first part of this year in the spring, and we did 3 cities in Texas. And we go to market this month for the Texas two-step, and I'm in talks with several people about being a title sponsor, and hopefully I can gain some traction on that. We can put them on the heading of everything.
Oh, there you go.
You know, and having the top trainers is going to be a big plus, and having one season under our belt and we know what we're doing, that helps out a lot too.
So you're putting this to market. When's the date? Did we talk about that yet?
No, we haven't talked about it yet.
Oh.
So the Texas two-step training event will take place the last week of March.
Okay.
We start on the 22nd in Houston, and we go up the eastern side, and we land at DFW, and that's our closing date on the 29th.
So we got a good amount of time to get this thing out there.
Oh, yeah. See,
and you're still looking for title sponsors. You're still looking for some backing for this thing, too. So that's awesome. Yeah. It's definitely something you want to be a part of, right, when it comes to training. Because I think training's the next wave of evolution. I mean, for where we're at in the auto industry, for the amount of, what do we call, senior techs retiring out. And we have this age gap, right?
Yes, we do.
That I've seen. And it's,
yes.
And I'm just now seeing these new, what's the new generation? Generation Y? Or W?
Yeah, it's a new generation, but it's Y something.
Yeah, whatever it is.
Y2K.
Whatever, who cares, right? The whole, like, yeah, I'm a millennial, but I'm not, like, I don't classify myself as a millennial, right?
You're right.
So, whatever. But the main thing is I got guys coming to 24, 25 years old with a year of experience, and this is all they want to do, right? And they're willing to sacrifice a paycheck to learn. And this is new for me, right? And I'm fairly new. I'm 10 years as far as a shop owner, about 8 years. So coming up on 10 years being in the industry, right? And so this is the first time I've seen that kind of change, because I've just seen in the last 10 years everyone either retiring out, telling me to get out of it, stay out of it, right?
Right.
Like, that's what everyone's saying. Like, you see it posted online. I'm opening a shop. No,
it's
heck,
so
stay
sad.
away. You listen to David Roman, right? Like, don't ever open a shop, right?
Yeah, don't stay away. Don't turn the doorknob. Yeah.
And so for the first time, I'm seeing like the younger crowd starting to get a lot of interest in it and want to be involved. I just sent so we're here, right?
Right.
And so yesterday we had some training put on by O'Reilly's.
Right.
It was Zane. Oh, what is his last name? I knew I was going to forget this. I'm a really well-known trainer.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if you're familiar with some of the trainers. But anyway, so he's putting on something local, and so I signed both the guys up.
Right.
And I got a text this morning from one of my techs who's just like completely ecstatic, over the moon. Dude, thank you so much for signing me up for this. And he's 25 or 26.
How awesome.
Yeah, and he was just over the moon and excited about this diagnostic training that he went to last night. Mind you, he's got a 45-minute commute to get to our shop, and the training started at 6 p.m. So he had to work all day, 6 p.m., it was 6 to 10, and then he drove home 45 minutes. And he was still excited to go.
I love that.
That's the first time I've had anybody reach out to me and say, thanks for sending me that. It's usually, hey, guys, I sent you up for training, and all their heads slump. Oh. Right? Yeah. It's like, whoa, like we're getting into something new. So I think this training thing is something to really latch on to. So when there's events going on, I guess my point is like when these things go on and you're looking for title sponsors, man, if you're looking to donate to something, jump on this stuff, man.
Exactly.
Like this is the new wave. I'm telling you, like training's been tough.
Trying to convince the young people that this is not a job. This is your career.
Yeah.
Change the mindset of the new hire that, hey, I didn't hire you on to be the same person you are today. What are you doing to advance your career, not your job? So all the training that a young person can do, whether it be in person, online, whatever, you're not better in your job. You're better in your career so you can move forward. And hopefully you do it quickly before you turn 25 so you can be the rock star for somebody.
Yeah. Or just for yourself.
Just for yourself. You want to be the rock star for you. That's you personally, because you got to take that on your resume and keep moving and advancing. Don't stay in the same place. If the shop you're in is not doing training, not pushing forward, they're not going to advance into the future. They're going to be left behind. Yeah. And if you're that person that's doing training, going to school, learning, reading, studying, moving forward, shaking and baking, baby.
Yeah.
That's what I say.
And isn't it a slow evolution too? Right? It's not that you missed one training class or you missed one event. It's like that realization that like 3 or 4 or 5, 6 years later, you're behind the curve now.
Exactly.
And how hard is it to get back in front, right? You got to make up all that time. And then, because it's constantly evolving.
It is.
Especially now with the EVs and the hybrids. Man, and it's polarizing, right? Everyone, oh, man, I'll just keep working on the old hot rods. And that's cool.
That's cool. That's something you can do.
But if you're missing out and you don't know how an electric motor works, right? If you don't know how to replace a hybrid battery, man, you are so far behind the curve right now.
I'm going to go with this cheap rental car that I've got. It's a Santa Fe, okay? And I've never driven a car with cruise control that keeps the distance between you and the vehicle, that applies the brakes and does all this crap. I'm 60 years old and I never drove a car like this, much less a car you push a button. And when you come to a stop on a grade, it holds the car still.
Yeah.
And the start-stop. That's been around for a long time. I know how to work on them, but I don't really admit to that. But, a lot of guys have no clue on that stuff.
Yeah.
And all the technical stuff I just talked about, if you're not going to school and learning about it, that's the technology that's going to leave you behind. And you're talking about EVs, the same stuff.
Well, that and it's missed opportunity, right? Like the main thing, let's talk about business, right? Like the main thing we're doing here is to make money, right?
Oh, yeah.
And if your ego's getting in the way and saying, I won't touch EVs because I'm too good for that, right? Like I don't believe in, right? And I get it. Like
your head's in the sand.
Yeah. Like you and I can probably agree on that. We don't believe in it either, right?
I don't want to.
Right?
Yeah.
But if you're not doing it, it's missed opportunity. We're in this business to make money. And if you can have a Tesla come in and you can diagnose the battery over temp condition, or a hybrid come in.
Exactly.
And you can do what are those things? They go for about $25,000 or $3,000 to replace that hybrid battery, and the batteries cost maybe $1,200 and takes 45 minutes.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're not,
it's opportunity, baby. Not.
Yeah.
Like I always say, cha-ching, baby.
Yeah.
You got to make that money. That's what keeps the light bill paid. That's what keeps you on your trips around the country doing the things you do.
Keep your friends close and your enemies closer. If you're not into it.
You're not going to make much money off your enemies. Your friends, your brothers, your sisters, that's who you're going to live off of.
Yeah.
They're supporting you.
Yeah.
And that's a whole other thing we could cover. I love talking about showing your value to your clients. I think personally, if I can show you my value and show you how great and wonderful my employees are and my shop is, you'll do business with me.
Yeah.
And the money's not going to be the topic.
Do you think, when it comes to circle back to training, do you think the loss there is not feeling valued because you just don't know what you don't know, right? And so not to say that you could draw a correlation between the more you train, the more you can charge, but I also feel like in my time, the more I've trained, the more confidence that I've built in my abilities. And if I can't figure out something in, say, 2 or 3 hours, I know I've tried everything I can, and I feel justified in charging for that diagnostic fee, right? Because I've done the training to back up my knowledge. I'm not just guessing. I'm not just throwing parts, right? And we've probably all been there where we spent 3 or 4 hours with a vehicle. And
can't hear me shake my head, can you?
Right, and we spent 3 or 4 hours, and we're like, I can't charge my client for that.
Yes, you can.
Well, you can if you train, but if you don't know what the hell you're doing,
you don't know. You're not going to be smart enough to charge either if you don't know.
That's my point, right?
Yes,
so
if
if you're spending 3 or 4 hours and you're like, man, I just don't feel confident, and I know what the hell I'm doing, so I'm not charging the client, right? And that's where that whole other conversation comes in of the
It's
diagnostic.
all about discovery and processes. You got to have that into play.
That's true, and you got to have the knowledge to back up the testing, right?
And going to school and learning from business people is a great way to catch that thing.
Yeah.
And I said that it's not necessarily classroom time. It's the time you network outside the classroom. You learn some of this stuff. Some of the questions you can ask and get answers for from old gray hair guys like me.
It's true.
Come pick on me and ask me these questions. I forgot a lot of things, but if you ask me a question, it might jog my memory.
Yeah. Well, it's all about that pain in the ass car that sticks in your mind, right?
I love it. Yes.
Yeah. And it's the case studies, right?
Yes.
And so when it comes to the training, one of the things I think I really like about what Mike Cleary does is he really brings up that real world experience. Same with like Paul Danner, right? Like watching Stan Danner. Like
what a blessing of a guy.
You're watching this guy get frustrated and he is sticking to his process though,
yes,
right?
He is. Stay with your process.
That's what we always do. We get frustrated and then we deviate from our process,
Don't
right?
do that.
And we just but we do it because our human brain wants to screw with us.
When I hire a new technician, the hardest thing that I can get out of their head is their ego. We're not here to have an ego. We're here to follow processes and procedures, stay focused, do what we got to do. That way you can justify for charging everything that you're doing.
Oh, man. Nailed it.
And it sometimes it takes me 2 or 3 weeks to get a new technician on board with my program, the way we do things. But we just don't walk out there and start throwing crap around and try to fix a car.
Right.
Follow the process, follow the procedures. It's a proven deal. It makes money. It makes the stress level in your business go way down.
Yeah. Now, when it comes to like this training setup that you have coming, how is it going to be designed for technicians, for service advisors, for shop owners? Are we having all the classes kind of at each location congruent as far as everything's at the same time?
Everything's at the same time.
Okay.
That way they come in at the same time, they break at lunch at the same time, and they do breaks during the classroom at the same time. That way they can share with each other what they are learning in the classroom, and the owner of the business knows that his technicians are there and everything's going like it should, and then at lunch they can all take a break and go share what they're learning.
Oh, that's awesome. One of the big challenges for me when I come to a training event is trying to decide what classes I want to take, right?
Oh, yeah.
So as the owner, I should be taking management classes and leadership classes, but I'm also a technician, right? I'm going back, next week, and I'll be back to repairing and diagnosing and maybe building a transmission.
Following your procedures.
Right, following procedures, but I'll be back on the bench. I'll be getting my hands and so I have a hard time trying to decide which class I should be in. Should I be in the leadership class? Should I be in the technician class, right? Do you have any advice for those? Or in this one that you have coming up, maybe divide and conquer?
So when you go to an expo event like this, I sign up before we go the best classes that I want to go to. And like you, once I get to the event, I said, oh my gosh, I'm going to go to that one. I don't want to do this one. I want to do that one. So my blessing is there's so many people that know me, I can walk in any door I want to go to, okay? But I see as a young guy that's not well known in our industry, he's going to be stuck with the class that he picked. He's not going to be able to swap classes and move around. And my heart goes out to that because you need to learn things in classes that you don't know. Mike Cleary, we keep going back to Mike. Mike's a good friend of mine and yours, And I've been in Mike's class hundreds of times. We've been training with each other since 2005, 6, something right in that area. And every time I go to his class and I sit in his classes, I pick up something. I learn something different. And it may not necessarily be from Mike. It may be a question or a statement that somebody said, hey, I did it like this. It changed stuff. And wow. So just because you didn't want to go to that class, go to that class. And I call this finding that golden nugget. And that golden nugget's what make you more money.
Mining for gold.
Yeah, mining for gold, baby.
That brings up a really good point. Like for the attendees of these classes, speak up, right?
Yeah.
Ask questions.
Yes.
How many of these training events have you been to, or classes that you sat in, or technical seminars where everyone just has their head down and no one wants to feel stupid?
Yeah. That's
right?
sad. It
Right?
really is. Yeah.
You know?
Or you get the one guy in there that asked all the stupid questions.
You had to go there, didn't you? You had to say that.
Yeah. I've seen that a dozen times.
So,
I was that guy.
So think first and then speak. But I mean, at the end of the day, who really cares?
Cut that out, though. Okay.
No, we're leaving that in. That's my golden nugget for the day. That's for damn sure. That's the relatable part. Right?
Yes, it is.
I mean, because we all do it.
Yes.
We ask that question, and then 4 or 5 years later, we're looking back like, I can't believe I asked that stupid freaking question. But you would not have known it was a stupid question 5 years later if you didn't ask it to begin with, right?
Exactly.
How's that
100%.
for freaking mind blown, right?
Yeah. Learn to laugh at yourself. Learn to move on. Learn to love yourself.
Yeah.
You know.
Ask a stupid question.
Exactly.
Because you know what?
100%.
It'll get everybody else in the classroom to start talking too.
Exactly.
Like, there's no way I can be as dumb as that guy.
That's right.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you just elevated the whole class. And then you're elevating the whole industry, right?
I love that.
Right?
Yes.
I mean,
Yes.
be the stupid one. And I have no problem with that, right? Like, I like being the loud guy. I like calling people out. I like sitting there and saying the jokes. And it's really just to get everyone engaged and like break that ice. Like, it's because the tension is so thick. And then the next training class I go to, like, I don't want to go sit in that again. That was terrible. That was like back in high school. That's why I didn't graduate high school. I was like, I'm out. You know, like I can't just sit here and listen to this person just talk at me and everybody just, with their head, like, nobody wants to be involved with that. So make it fun, right?
Make it fun. Get involved. Make it happen.
Without being disruptive to the instructor, right? There's that fine line too.
You know, and I treat training classes kind of like I do social media. If I get on your website and you posted something that everybody else needs to know, I'm going to comment on it. And there's no telling what I'll say. Great, great, awesome, whatever. But I'm looking for you to reply back to me.
Yeah.
You know, and us bounce something off of each other to create the algorithm of that something happening.
Yeah.
You know, and it's the same thing in the classroom.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when it comes time, the instructor says, do you understand? Do you have any questions? Comment, say something. Break the ice so somebody else will say something that's holding back.
That's so true.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because that's the only time it happens.
Yes.
And like I said, no one wants to ask that question or be held stupid, you know. But I think it comes to the trainer too. And that's a difficult situation for the trainer. And that's why you got some of the guys here that have that mindset.
Yeah, they
can get you to interact, right? Like, who is it? G?
Yeah, G. He'll do the same thing.
Yeah, he's fantastic at getting people. He's walking up and down the aisle. He's yelling at people. Man, it gets you like involved, right?
I've known him since I was 25, 27 years old. And he's always been like a powerhouse to me. I've learned so much from that guy. And he gives you the opportunity to interact.
Yeah.
You know, and I love G. I really do. I've known him for years. And yes, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
You're so right.
Another top trainer.
Yeah.
So this event here that you got coming up, what's the main focus for the techs? Are we doing? It's just obviously you got Mike Cleary doing the 6.7 diesel. Is that the focus? Is diesel?
That's the diesel
engine?
For Mike Cleary. Mike Cleary is so famous about diesel. We're staying that way. Oscar Gomez is drivability.
Okay. And drivability. Let's dive into that just a touch. So we're talking about code analysis.
Yeah.
Is that the main focus?
You just keep going, and I'll tell no when you need to be no.
So
but you know Oscar as well as I do. He's just like, he's going to present the subject and material, then he's going to stop and say, got any questions? Everybody
with real world experience and real world, because he still runs a shop, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He's
a fantastic shop down in Los Angeles.
He's still playing and plugging and pushing and tugging.
Yeah.
I don't think he actually replaces any parts, but I think he does all the diagnosis work.
Okay. Yeah. So
he does a lot of it remotely. When he's off training somewhere, he'll be on his laptop remoting in trying to fix the car with a guy at his shop.
That's awesome. Yeah. That's like next level stuff. That's like the remote work that we all want to do.
I keep telling him he needs to be like me and unplug. He won't do it.
Well, it takes a long time, like for where you're at with your shop, right?
Uh-huh.
To be able to walk away and know that it's going to run efficiently and you still got high-level diags going on without you needing to be a part of it.
Correct.
There's still probably time you get pulled back into it, right? But
I spend... So my coach is Rick White, 180 Biz. And he has told me I need to spend 2 days a week at my shop working on getting new customers. Well, I got 2 new customers last week, and I wasn't even at my shop. So I said, do I really need to be at my shop, Rick? So I'm pushing back on being there at all. But I tell everybody the first week of the month I'm there because that's when I pay all my bills. I do my bank statements, and I pay the great state of Texas their money. So the rest of the month I'm pretty much free to be able to do what I do. But what got me here is the passion of learning how to not be involved in my business, but be on the outside, have the right players, and trust in those right players to do what their job is doing. I don't dictate how they need to do their job. I have policies and procedures for that. I want the outcome, and this is the outcome I want, and that's what I tell them, and I let them work to that outcome and get to where I need to be.
That's awesome. Do you think that started from from the base of wanting to learn, of training? And do you think like the best technicians out there have the ability to be the best shop owners because of being able to learn a new process and a new thing every single time there's a new vehicle out? I think that's what sets us apart from everybody else in the world. You have to. You're a good technician. You're a good technician. It's not common to have a good technician and to be a good businessman. Because until you learn to take the passion away from fixing a car and working on your business, you can never be a good businessman. You're always going to be a good technician. Is it saying that you're not going to be successful? I was successful 15 years. The first part I owned my business. I did really good, but I was a technician. And then I started doing the AMI training classes about business. And Becky Witt came to Texas and did a class. That was the class that changed my passion for learning how to run my business. That lady is so fantastic, so awesome. And it's been a blessing in my life. And another good friend of hers named Betty Jo Young. Them 2 people really changed my life when I was in my 30s to help me understand KPIs. I didn't know what KPIs was, gross profit. Well, that sounded gross. I like to eat good food, not gross food.
Exactly, And that was the beginning of my life. And then I started doing all the AMI classes that were available and taking every one of them I possibly could. And I eventually gathered my master's of AMI certification. And that's not a big thing like it used to be. And then I started coaching and getting involved with a coach that fits your organization, your program is a big thing in life, And best thing I can tell anybody is don't go to a coaching company that has a contract because it may not be the right fit for you.
That's true.
If you want to go to the contract, bounce around between coaches, figure out which coach fits your program. And then if they don't, move on. Go to another coach. There's so many of them out here. And they're all great people, and they all want you to succeed and be who you need to be.
Yeah, and we talked yesterday about that too.
Mm-hmm.
Talked to a few people about that, about being stuck.
Yeah.
And you got to have that growth mindset where
you do.
You can actually say, hey, this isn't working between you and I'm going to move on.
Yes.
But no hard feelings, right?
Right.
And I think most get stuck, right? Because we're human centric in the auto industry.
Exactly.
Like we don't like cut our knuckles up. We don't like spend all night trying to get this problem solved, right? We're not like in bed researching for somebody else's car. It's not even ours. Like there's so much that goes on behind the scenes that I don't think a lot of people understand that we go through when you, especially in the early stages of being a technician and owning an auto shop. Like you have nothing but these other people's vehicles on your mind, and you are just riddled with anxiety. For me, I'm riddled with anxiety, and so that doesn't come from nothing. That comes from an extremely human centric point, right?
Exactly.
Like you just can't imagine going back to work the next day and not knowing what to do next to this vehicle. You can't pick up that phone and call Mrs. Jones and say, I'm not going to have your car fixed because I don't know what the hell's wrong with it, right? Then your ego's too damn big and you can't ship it down the street, right?
Exactly.
Is that not hitting home for everybody right now? But it's all human centric and we don't understand, but not making that phone call and not doing the training, you're doing the wrong thing. Don't just sit at the shop and like beat your head against the wall and think that you're doing the right thing.
Exactly.
And that was, I mean, that's a huge shift for me in the last couple of years, is realizing that like I'm not going to do what I really want to do by just sitting here and thinking about it, dwelling on it, and say, well, I'm trying really hard. That's not good enough.
No, that's not the growth zone.
That's not good enough.
Growth zone is where you're moving and learning and you're going forward and you're doing it. If you just beat your head against the wall, you're not growing. Of course, you're not in the comfort zone either where we go to recharge.
It's not comfortable at all.
But if you're in the growth zone, you're moving forward. You're getting that education. You're learning something. You're not sitting there with the tools doing the same damn thing over and over.
Yeah.
You're moving forward.
Isn't that insanity? I think they call that insanity.
Exactly, 100%.
Maybe that's why we're all a little insane.
And your ego will drive you insane.
Oh,
it really will.
Yeah.
You know, get away from the ego. Get away from that. Go to the training classes. Talk amongst the guys after the class, in between breaks. Visit with them. Build yourself a network.
Yeah.
That you can reach out to somebody that's better than you are at something, but if they see you going to class and they see you training, they're willing to help.
You think it was the old generation of a lot of techs that grew up? So for me, growing up in a shop, I was told not to touch their tools, don't ask them questions. Hey, you're the stupid kid, right? You know, someone's always smoking a cigarette, yelling at somebody else. Like, that was kind of how the shop I grew up, right?
Yeah.
And it was tough for me to kind of pivot away from that and then start reaching out and asking questions.
I grew up in that shop.
Yeah, and I think a little bit it was like, I don't really give a shit what you think anymore. Like, right? I'm like, you know what, you damn boomer, I don't care about you anymore. So for me, it was like it was a survival instinct to just like stop caring, and I'm gonna ask anyway, right? I don't care anymore. And do you think that's part of the reason why people don't ask questions, people don't reach out, because they think there's this stigma of like, if you ask somebody that knows, they're gonna charge you, or that, you know, the shop network. So you probably have shops in your area you can reach out to if you have a problem, if you need a tool. But for a long time, that wasn't a thing. You'd ask someone to borrow a tool, like, you can buy it.
Right.
We can take my tool and take my work.
Yeah.
Right. And there's still guys out there with that mentality.
There is. There really is.
But it's, I mean, do you think that's like a huge population, or do you think that's like the minority?
Used to be huge. Everybody had that sign in their toolbox. Keep your grubby hands off my Snap-on tools. I think that's what it said.
Dig beaters or something.
Yeah,
like that, right?
something, vulgar and nasty. I don't talk like that no more, probably. But anyway, I'm practically innocent, I tell my friends. But used to, yes. I don't see that like I used to, because in my network, I have a rule. I'll loan it to you once, I'll loan it to you twice. The third time, you better have it ordered on its way. And I don't mind going out borrowing a tool once, and I don't mind borrowing it twice. But when I use it that second time, I'm ordering it. That means I need it in my arsenal of defense to fix things with. You know, and my technicians, when they come to work for me, they only need wrenches and sockets. All the specialty tools, the battery-operated tools, all that I buy. You buy the sockets and wrenches, the crap, you lose. That's your stuff. The specialty tools, you're making money from me with that. I want it to be my stuff, you know. And it's worked out really good the last 15 years that way. And I'm teaching younger people. I have a 21-year-old lady working for me. I call her a girl because I'm 60, okay? She come to work for me when she was 19 years old. And she's just a rock star. And I bought her a set of tools. And I put her in that. And I said, you stay with me a year, you're yours. You can have them. Well, those tools are still as nice as they were the day I let her have them.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
You know, and she had some things she couldn't be here with us this week, but she goes to all the big training events with us. She's a rock star.
That's so cool.
And all the guys love having her around, and nobody's telling her, get your dick beaters off my... No, nobody's telling her, keep your hands off our tools. Right. You know?
Yeah.
Go for it.
Yeah.
You know, help. Do you need this tool? You need that tool. And we made that kind of culture around our shop to we're all passionate for each other. You know, if you're working on something over there and it's pulling your hair out, Jacob might know how to fix that. You know, Dion might be the guy to take care of that idea.
It's all about the growth process.
You know, it's all policies, procedures, and how I want it to go.
And do you think we can apply what you just had mentioned with your tools with your mind?
Yes.
So if you're asking someone how to fix something once, we're okay with that. you want to ask me again how that oxygen sensor is supposed to operate, I'm okay with the second time. But do you think we can use that as a process? So by the third time you're asking me,
you need school.
Do you think this oxygen sensor is bad?
When these other shops call our shop and they ask questions, and we try to show them where they can get their answer at versus giving them the answer.
Okay.
That's one of the processes we do. If you call me and you're somebody I share knowledge with, I'll share the knowledge with you. But if you're somebody just calling me out of the blue that you're wanting to know how an oxygen sensor works, I'm going to take you to all that, and I'm going to go through the steps of how that particular oxygen sensor will work. And this is where you're going to find that information.
Yeah.
I want to educate the new guy on how to find the information, not just give it to him.
Yeah.
That way I take away the daddy syndrome. He don't come back to me for that.
Oh, man. Is that not a conversation for a whole nother hour?
That's
right
a topic,
there, man?
yes, sir.
Holy moly, yeah. And you know what? In the grand scheme of things, that's one of those things where you are kind of appeared as like, what's the word to call it? The grumpy old man. Let's put it that way, right? Like, can you just tell me? I know you just know. Can you just tell me?
Yeah.
No, because you're not going to learn anything.
You're not going to learn that way.
I guarantee you in 3 or 4 or 5 years, when you need to know, because that problem will come again, right? And it's always 3 times in a row, then you don't see it for a year.
Always.
So when that year comes by and you're like, hey, wait, I know where to find that.
And
invaluable.
Exactly. And that's how we do all of our apprentices that come to work with us. When first month, 3 months, we'll give them the answer. But we're going to show them how we found the answer. So it weans them off of being reliant for us to help them all the time. Now they're going to the information systems and finding the information for themselves. By the time they get their first year underneath them, it's a rule. At that point, when you come to me with a question, you better have 3 options of the answer.
I like that.
That way we can tell, well, these 2 are wrong, that one's right, or all 3 of them are possibles. But
they're all wrong, you idiot.
Yeah.
No, we wouldn't say
But
that.
we know they're studying and where they got the options from.
Yeah.
We know they're looking. They're not just coming to us with crap they pulled out of the air.
Yeah.
But it's information that, hey, I'm at the crossroads of this and I don't know which way to go. So time on diagnosing and repairing vehicles is very critical with us. You just don't get in there and spend hours on just running a wild road, okay? So when you get to a certain point on your diagnosis level, you have to stop. And you need to communicate. And who do you communicate is whether you know the answer of what your diagnosis is or whether you don't know, and do you need more time? And if you go into the more time scale and you're starting to feel, the terminology, life support of the car to figure this problem out, you may need somebody that's educated with a picoscope better than you are. And that's when you'd ask somebody to help you.
Yeah.
And you're getting the education and you're getting the help, but you're knowing where to find the help.
Your mind is a toolbox.
Exactly.
And you need to load it with the arsenal of defense. And every bit of what you just said is just loading that toolbox with all your weapons.
Mental toolbox.
That's right.
Golly, there's a guy in Colorado that I was on the national board with ASA, and he would always preach your mental toolbox. And I love that.
Yeah. It really is, though, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And everything you've just described over the last few minutes is basically loading that toolbox.
Exactly.
And it hurts and it's painful.
Oh, yeah.
But does it feel any better to have that Snap-on bill every time you get off the van? That hurts a lot too, right?
That's a pucker factor.
So whatever toolbox you're loading up is painful, right?
Exactly.
So just choose your suck, right?
Exactly.
Well, this has been awesome. Again, Texas 2-Steps training.
Last week of March.
Mm-hmm. We have 3 different cities.
Yes. We have 5 different cities.
5 different cities, I'm sorry.
We're going to run up the eastern side of Texas. And this is just a little flyer about the instructors and trainers. And then on our website, texas2steptraining.com, we're putting all the rest of the information. The dates are already there. Some of the locations haven't signed a contract on them. We do have a contract in Fort Worth, Dallas market. We do have the contract in Tyler. We're working with Lufkin and Beaumont and Houston right now.
So, John Firm, how do they get a hold of you if they want any more information about this?
John at firmautomotive.com.
Perfect.
Or you can call my cell. My cell is in that brochure, 817-925-2718. I don't answer phone numbers that I don't recognize, so please leave a voicemail. And leave your phone number in the voicemail. Sometimes I might be in Brazil fishing, and that phone call won't come through.
Or text message is always good, too,
A
right?
text is always good.
That's always
You
good.
know, I got an iPhone, so the network works.
Awesome trainers you got going on here. This is going to be a pretty fantastic thing, and I'm pretty excited about it.
I hope you come and join us. It'd be awesome
It'd be
to see
pretty
you
cool,
there.
yeah. And I hope we get something set up in California as well. So
I believe we will.
the funny thing is, you got Mike Cleary coming from my town.
Uh-huh.
You got Oscar Gomez coming from 3 hours south, and they're flying. How long is that flight?
I think it's a 5-hour flight.
5 hour flight.
Yeah.
To go, and I'm less than that of a drive.
Yeah.
But somehow they're heading to Texas to do it because California won't just freaking get their together.
Yeah. And, you know, what's really crazy is you look at Mike Clary, the amount of training he does in Canada. The
That's
guy's
wild, isn't it?
always in Canada all the time. It's just crazy. And it's all time of the year. And he has some pretty cool stories about how he got to a training class with snow 4, 5, 6 feet deep.
Well, I think it's because those trucks just run all winter long, so maybe
Yeah,
they
they never stop.
They get a lot more wear and tear, so maybe they have a lot more going on there. When we were up in Alaska here recently, it was like he was telling me he's got a 7.3 Power Stroke, and
Right.
it just runs.
Yes.
He just once wintertime comes, he turns
Just
on. It
leave
doesn't shut off till like March.
Oh my
It's like
gosh, you look like you
wild.
had so much fun on that trip and
it was.
education and learning with other shops. How many
Yeah.
other shops did you visit?
This year we've been through three
Wow.
different shop evaluations.
So
this
what
year.
did you learn?
How do I even encapsulate that?
You can't.
I can't.
But I wanted to see it in your eyes. I can see it.
There's a
You're
lot.
thinking hard.
I mean, there's a lot, right? There's obviously knowing that we are not way off base, right?
Uh-huh.
Knowing that we all need support and help,
Right.
no matter how good someone
Don't matter.
sounds like they're on Facebook or how great their Google reviews are or whatever. Like
Right.
whatever you think that shop's going through, they're having the same struggles that you are,
exactly.
right?
Yep.
Like you and I could probably commiserate about the same problems I have, and you've been doing this for probably 3 decades longer.
Yes, sir.
much more of a veteran than I am, and
Mm.
we can probably still relate. So just because you think it's happening to you in your shop does not mean that there's not another shop
Every
across
shop.
the country going through the same
Amen.
exact thing. So that was pretty enlightening.
Right.
And knowing that when you get down, you have a conversation like you and I are,
Yep.
we can really relate, and there's always things we can pick up from each other, and there's always learning to be had, right? And
Yes, sir.
that's one of the big ones. Was like, wow, this shop, I can't wait to go see their shop. And you see it like, oh, this is nice, and then to have my feedback, and I had no business, right?
Right.
I have absolutely no business to be evaluating other shops, right?
Right.
But then there's taking my advice, and they're like, hey, that's a really good idea. Like, oh, I had a good idea. I'm not the stupid kid in class anymore.
I had 35 shops come to my shop and tour my business with a Rick White Live.
Okay.
Jim, I cannot tell you how humbling it was to have people that don't do the amount of business or the kind of business that I do
Yeah.
give me advice that I never seen it. You know, I've been in that building and on that corner for 37 years. And they come in and say, if you did this and did that, it would increase your productivity. Wow.
Yeah.
So if you haven't
Wow.
had the shops come tour your place yet, do it.
Yeah.
It's so humbling. And it's such a huge blessing to have them share their knowledge with you about your business and how you can improve.
It's so awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's some real stuff right there.
Real
That's from
stuff,
my heart.
man. Yeah. Well, John, I appreciate you coming in, taking some time this morning to.
Oh my gosh, what a
Yeah.
blessing.
Yeah. Until next time.
Yes,
Thanks,
sir.
John.